Good morning, you guys. Welcome to another installment of Mornin Oats. I got my oats, they look delicious, and I got my coffee in my very special Ninja Turtles mug. Let's start the discussion. So, this topic is actually one that I posted a tweet. So I tweeted a tweet on my Twitter asking you guys, because I wanted to have some topics that were from you guys of what I could talk about on Mornin Oats. And totally forget your name, but this was a really good topic that someone brought up and that I thought I could talk about, and that I just thought it was a really good topic. So the topic that was brought up was body dysmorphia after losing a lot of weight, or just after weight loss in general. Now, if you don't know what body dysmorphia is, it's basically just not being happy with your body to a point where you just feel like you want to change it so bad, and all these things, right? So it's basically just not being happy with your body and trying and finding all the flaws that are in your body, and that's basically what it's about. So the reason that I wanted to talk about this, and I just thought it was a really good topic because it's something that I definitely struggle with, and I feel like there are totally a lot of people that struggle with this. So you're overweight, right? And you're not happy with your body. And in your head, you have this goal. Maybe it might be a goal weight or a goal physique that you want to attain. And maybe you diet down really hard. You really try your hardest to really lose all the weight that you want to lose, right? And then you get to the point where you feel like you're at the goal weight that you wanted to hit, and you're not happy anymore. That sucks, you know what I mean? Like, you worked so hard to get to this point, and you just feel like it was all pointless, and you feel like all the hard work, all the dieting it could have been for years, it could have been for months, whatever amount of time it was, all the times where you felt like you were, sacrificing this to get to your goals that you had as far as weight loss and things, you're not happy with it. And it's hard for us because this is my just perspective. It's hard because you see all of these fitness models, and you see all these people that are on the covers of magazines and the covers of, whatever, on movies and all these things that are the thing that we know this, but I feel like we forget to think about it, is whenever you see someone that's on any sort of magazine, I can almost 98% of the time guarantee you that image has been photoshopped. Obviously, they've probably dieted down to a point where they're like starving to get to the physique that they look like when they're on when it's on stage, when they're on that cover. The image has obviously been photoshopped. The lighting is perfect. Everything about that image is as perfect and as best as it could be to make the person look as good as they do. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and everyone kind of touches up their images, right? But you just have to kind of remember that, and you kind of always have that in the back of your head. And it's hard for me to say this because I totally feel the same way. And then obviously after massive weight loss, there's things that people don't take into account, they don't take into consideration, like, loose skin, right? For me, that's the reason I feel like I'm so adamant about sharing my story about loose skin and trying to just inform people that this is something that happens to people that lose a lot of weight. Because when I lost my weight, I didn't know that happened. It makes sense now that I'm looking back, but thinking about it before, when I was heavier, it didn't even cross my mind. It didn't even feel like something that I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think that loose skin was gonna happen. And at first it was really hard for me to accept it, and I was so scared of what people would think about me if they saw it, and if they would think that, oh wow, that sucks, like all the hard work, because that's a comment that I get a lot too, is like all the hard work that he's put in and he still looks like that. When in my head, I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that at all. You guys have heard me say it a million times. I'm really proud of my loose skin, and I'm proud of the journey that I've taken, the things that I've done to get to where I am now. But if you're not even remotely, if you don't even know that's gonna happen, it's a lot harder to be proud of your loose skin. It's a lot harder to be happy with who you are when it's almost like a surprise at the end of the road, like it's not something that you're thinking about. Also, one thing I wanted to talk about that, obviously I don't know how I could really say this is what you do to not have body dysmorphia when you lose all weight, because that's such a personal journey that you're going on, and it's something that there's so many little mental things that you're going to be dealing with. So it's hard for me. I can't just say this is what you need to do to not have body dysmorphia, but one thing that I feel like would help a lot of people, and definitely helped me a lot, was not having that goal weight be so important to you. The reason I'm saying that is because a lot of times when we have a goal weight, when we have something that we feel like we need to attain, like this is the weight that I feel like I will be, or I know that I'll be happy at. I know that this is what I want. This is the weight that I want. I mean, it's good to have goals, but the problem with the goal weights like that is that we as humans will try anything sometimes, right, to get to that point. And a lot of times those things are not healthy. So let me give you an example. As far as goal weight, say you're 200 pounds and you really want to get down to 180 pounds. You end up dieting and you get down to 187, right? And you're like, okay, well, I mean, I feel like I look okay, but like I know that when I hit 180, I'm gonna look fantastic. So what you do is you end up cutting your calories more and you get down to 184. Cutting them more to a point when you're barely eating anything, and then you get down to 180, but you have no food in your system. You're hungry. You're gonna be grumpy, right? All these things, but like you're at 180, and then you're thinking to yourself, I'm not even happy here. This isn't even where I don't feel like I'm happy. And then that's when, like I said, this is just my personal opinion, but then that's when you start to be like, well, all of this was worthless. And then think about it, it's even worse is like as you lose more weight, right? Like you feel like I need to lose 150 pounds because when I lose 150 pounds, that's when I'll be happy. That's when people will accept me. That's when everything will fall into place, and that's when I will be a better person. So that's just kind of an example that I had. You know, goal weights are just, I feel like, I mean, it's not always a terrible thing, but for a lot of people, for me especially, it can just be a reason for you to try and do anything to get to that goal weight, and those things that you end up doing to get to the goal weight might not be the healthiest, might not be the best for you. So there's tons of things, and it's something that it really does, it's just terrible, you know. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like I feel like it sucks for guys, right? It sucks for a guy to lose a lot of weight and then to have the skin, or even if you don't have loose skin, if you're just not happy with it, you feel like you don't have any muscle on your body. That's one question that I get a lot. Like, how did you gain so much muscle? And honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I feel like genetically I was just very lucky, and I'm just a big guy. I've never been like a twig kid, and I never was like a tiny, as far as like my frame goes, my shoulders go and all that, I was never a tiny kid. So I was really lucky to have, I feel like, that muscle under the fat already. So I didn't turn into, you know, well, there was a point when I was pretty skinny and I felt like I was very skinny fat, but there wasn't a point where I was like tiny skinny where it was like, you look unhealthy now, you know? But that being said, for guys, yeah, it sucks, but I really feel for women, and I know that it's hard for me to really identify with you guys and really understand what you guys go through, but because I know how guys are, I know how we are, and how we're stimulated by visual things, and we're visual creatures. We like to look at things and be pleased by it, and I can only imagine for a girl to feel like, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with you, but to feel like there's something wrong with you, and to feel like you look bad, and knowing how guys are, and knowing how visually stimulated we are, to feel like you're not beautiful and then try and have that confidence to go out and do things, I can only imagine. And I like I said, it sucks for guys, but I really feel like it's pretty terrible for girls. If you guys have any stories, if any of you ladies have any stories, please feel free to share them. Always feel free to share anything in the comments. You guys are, I love the community down there. But that being said, yeah, I couldn't imagine it, and it's something that we will always struggle with, and I think it's something that everyone will struggle with at some point when they're losing weight. Maybe not everyone, but it's something that a lot of people struggle with. Like, they're just not happy with where they are. Now, that being said, I don't want to leave this on a negative note. I want this to be a positive video. That being said, I gotta tell you guys that after losing this weight, you guys know that I am so much happier. I feel like this is like the most chill morning oats ever. I'm just like really, I don't know, I'm just really relaxed. But you guys know that I'm so much happier now that I've lost the weight than I ever was when I was bigger. Now, it's not like there was ever times that I wasn't happy. You know, there was times when I was happy when I was bigger, but in the big picture, big scheme of things, I am a much happier individual now, and I'm able to enjoy my life a lot more now than I was back then. And I just want to tell you guys that if you're feeling like, you know, you're not happy with the body that you're in, just really think about it, especially if you've lost a lot of weight. Think about just how you felt when you were when you are overweight, and don't even think about feelings too. You can even think about just your health and how much longer you're gonna live and all of those things, how you're able to enjoy being able to tie your shoes or being able to fit in chairs that you weren't able to fit in. If you are really big, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. So I just want you guys to understand that losing weight is not always going to turn into some sort of body dysmorphia disorder, or you're not going to be happy with where you are. But that is true. That is a thing that happens, and I want you guys to understand that, and I want you guys to, because I like bringing these things up because I want people, because knowledge is power, right? And if you understand that that might happen, hopefully this video will help you combat that before you even get to the point where you're dieting down too much, before you get to the point where you've reached your goal weight but you're just not happy there. So that's why I wanted to make this video, and I wanted to share my story too. You know, I really enjoy talking about the stuff that's just not on YouTube yet, and I feel like this definitely is a topic that has not been discussed on YouTube, at least very much, and especially from a perspective of someone that has lost a lot of weight. So that being said, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. To the person that gave me this video idea, I really appreciate it. As always, please, if you guys have any video ideas, leave them down in the comment section down below. I am willing to talk about whatever, and I definitely do want to do a few more of these morning notes a week. It's definitely slacking on. But that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, look how buff I am.